Hi guys, we're back again. So in this example, we'll be looking at a more realistic case study related to the single payment period and compound period. So the cash flow diagram for this case study are already given, and as you can see, there are multiple single payment. Dah tak jadi single sangat lah. There are 3 types of single payment given, which is indicated by the red line there. Okay, it's still single payment tapi ada beberapa single payments. So they wanted to know what is the amount in the account at the end of year 10 if the interest rate is 12% per year, which are compounded semi-annually. So every time you see the term compounded semi-annually ni, terus fikir, oh you kena pakai effective interest rate. Tak boleh pakai the general interest rate anymore. Okay, so you have to also take note on specific information such as this cash flow diagram is in $1,000 units. Maknanya kalau $1,000 sebenarnya you have to multiply with another $1,000. Okay, sebab dia nak pendekkan dia punya, tak nak banyak sangat kosong-kosong in your cash flow diagram. So that's why they put that kind of statement. Okay, now let's look how we can solve this kind of problem. Okay, there are 2 methods that you can consider when you want to solve for this kind of problem. Okay, let's look at it one by one. You know, I always like to redraw the cash diagram in yearly basis so that it is easy for me to illustrate the compound period. Okay, so first I'll redraw the cash flow diagram up to 12 months or 1 year, and then we know that the interest rate is 12% per year, so 12% goes all the way up to month 12 for 1 year. And then given that these interests are being compounded semi-annually, so kalau semi-annual compound, there will be 2 compound period in 1 year ataupun 2 blocks in 1 year. Okay, so the interest value for 1 block is simply 12 divided with 2 blocks. We will get a value of 6%. Okay, kat sini dia belum compound lagi tau sebab dia baru at the first block. So we can just use the nominal interest rate for this method. Okay, so this 6%, the effective interest rate is 6% for 6 months. Okay, now you notice how many compound block there is in 1 year? Ada 2 block, okay, ataupun 2 compound period. So you can redraw this in the 10 years punya timeline like so. Okay, 2 tu maksudnya ada 2 compound period untuk each year. Okay, setiap tahun ada 2 compound period. Okay, take note on this. Now when we want to solve for this kind of problem, it's quite simple lah. Dia macam chapter yang sebelum ni. If you want to find the final value at year 10, you need to convert all this red line into an equivalent final worth using the FP factor. Okay, kalau tak ingat, please revisit the previous chapter. Okay, now let's convert this 1,000 first. So the future value of this 1,000 is negative 1,000. Kenapa saya letak negative? Because okay, just as a standard procedure lah, kalau pointed downwards I'll put negative and then I multiply it with the FP factor, and then I want to convert this $3,000 into future worth. So again, similarly, 3,000 multiplied with the FP factor, and then I also want to convert this 1,500 into equivalent future worth. I have to multiply it with the FP factor. This is standard procedure. Okay, now the most important part. Okay, notice the interest rate is 6% for 6 months. Okay, so your I in this equation is for 6%. Okay, now the N for the first case, which is the 1,000 line tu kan, the N for this case is 20. Kenapa 20? Sebab 2 compound period is for 1 year. So how many years are we counting? 10 years. So 2 multiplied with 10, you will get 20. Okay, so look at the second one. In the second line, which is the 3,000 punya line tu, the interest rate still kita pakai interest rate for 1 block or 1 compound period. The N in this case, tengok yang bling-bling-bling tu je. The N in this case is just 12. Kalau you kira betul-betul pun, and dia memang 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Ada 12 period sahaja. 12 compound period sahaja. It's not 20. Okay, you have to take note that you count the N from where dia punya arrow to starts. Okay, that is very important. Okay, so at least you get an idea. So, how do you want to fill in the info for the 1,500? Okay, the I still remain, which is the effective interest rate for one compound period, which is 6%. The N is the bling 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 one, which is 2468. So, and dia ada 8. Okay, things are quite standard from here. Okay, you can find the FP factor in the compound interest table and you will get a final value of negative 11,634. And then don't forget, this cash flow diagram is in 1,000 units. So you have to multiply your final answer with $1,000 and your final answer is 11,634,000. Okay, mana pergi negatif dia? Okay, remember if you reread the case study, sebenarnya this company they invest the money. So they wanted to know what is the return at year 10. So bila dia invest, memanglah dia keluarkan duit. Tapi at the end of year 10, duit tu masuk. That's why we calculate, that's why negatif tu hilang. Sebab kita nak tahu apa duit yang dia dapat earn at the end of 10 years. Okay, that is method number 1. For the second method, sebenarnya tak banyak beza pun dengan method number 1. Cuma bezanya in terms of the number of compound period that you choose. Okay, this time around, we'll just redraw again the timeline for 1 year or 12 months. And then we know that the interest rate is 12% for 1 year. And this interest rate are being compounded semi-annually. Okay, this time around, instead of calculating the effective interest rate for one compound period, now I want to calculate the effective interest rate for 1 year. Okay, so if you notice dalam 1 year tu ada berapa block? Ada 2 block, meaning there are 2 compound period. So the second block tu yang warna merah tu kan, if you notice, that is when the interest are being compounded. Okay, so in this case you dah tak boleh pakai that 12% value anymore. You have to calculate the effective interest rate. So in order for you to calculate the effective interest rate, you have to use the RM formula. Our R in this case is the nominal effective interest rate for the whole 1 year, which is 12% or 0.12. And then our M is how many compound period are in 1 year? Ada 2 compound period or ada 2 block. So our M is 2. So we substitute that value into our equation and we will get the effective interest rate for 1 year to be 12.36%. Okay, so I hope you understand the concept of interest being compounded. Okay, now the next step is, as we are calculating for the whole 1 year, okay, instead of representing 1 year with 2 blocks, we actually use 12.36% for 1 year punya period kan. So if we redraw the period yang kita nak kira ni in the yearly block tu, we can just redraw it as so. Kenapa bukan 2 lagi? Okay, remember, kalau macam in method 1, you use the effective interest rate for 1 block. This time around, we use the effective interest rate for 1 year. Okay, 1 year which is represented in 2 blocks. Okay, so the period is for 1 year. So that is why the kotak-kotak-kotak sampai tahun ke-10 tu I put it as 1. Sebab that 12.36% is represented for 1 year. Okay, hope you see the difference. Kalau tak faham, please WhatsApp me and ask. Okay, now the similar step, if you want to calculate the future worth, you have to convert all the present worth into an equivalent future worth. So for the $1,000, I multiply it with the FP factor, and then for the $3,000, I have to multiply it again with the FP factor, and also kalau nak convert that $1,500, multiply it with the FP factor. Okay, kita tahu the effective interest rate for 1 year is 12.36%. Okay, for the $1,000 punya cash flow tu, dia punya N is a total of 10. Okay, kira berapa banyak blok dekat situ. Ada 10. For the $3,000, the N kalau you kira dekat bling-bling tu ada 6 sahaja. And then for the $1,500, the N kalau you tengok dekat bling-bling-bling tu hanya ada 4 or 4. So from here is quite easy. Look for the FP factor in the compound interest table and you will get the same value as you get in method number 1. Okay, so kalau you nak verify whether your jalan kerja tu betul ke tak, if you have the time, try to do both method. Tapi kalau tak ada masa, you can just proceed with method number 2. Tapi you have to really understand lah that effective interest rate for how long, for how many period, and then N tu nak pakai berapa. You have to really understand that concept. Okay, so I think that is all for now. I'll see you later in the next series. Bye bye.